Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 330 of the ITM Podcast, the official. My name is Joey Copponi and that's Scott Neville. Scott, how are you doing, dude? Happy Thanksgiving, bro. Let me start there.
Dude, happy Thanksgiving ditto, first of all. That's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Is what I'm trying to say.
All right.
And
Wrap
also,
it up there.
Yep,
What?
That's pretty much it. Oh, well, there's one thing that happened.
What happened?
The Red Sox.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Because it's episode 330, you were going to be like, hey, Joe, what's a dentist's favorite time of day? The answer is going to be 3:30, and it was going to be like, we're going to have a laugh about it.
I got ring light, Joey.
Oh, check out the YouTube to see Scott's face in a little better lighting.
Just a
Look
little.
at that. Just a little, but it's there. It's noticeable-ish. If you've been watching for a while, you'll be like, oh, I can see more of Scott. If that's the color of his flesh. I've always wondered about the color of his flesh. And now you don't have to worry about it anymore. Now you know the answer. It's right on youtube.com. Find ITM Podcast. It's blowing up over there. You're going to want to get in early just to be able to say, oh, I subscribed and they only had blah, blah, blah subs. And now they have 500 million. So you're going to want to get in.
I remember when they weren't even monetization eligible and they just passed Mr. Beast.
Yep. Yeah. I subscribed to Mr. Beast when he had 84 subscribers. So number 85 over here. That's why he sends me $1 million every month.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're going to want to get in early. That's what I'm getting at. Speaking of getting in early, Sonny Gray. If there's one thing people can say about Sonny Gray, it's get in now while it's still early in his career. Get in now. Buy stock now in Sonny Gray.
Cy Young odds, they're only going to go up by the week.
I said that not too long ago. I think it was 2015 or 16. Mm-hmm. And now the year, let me double check. Oh yeah, 2025. Yeah. So,
2016 was a big year. Yeah, 2016 was a big year for him for like trade talk.
Yeah. It took a little bit, 9 years, but here we are. Welcome to Boston, Sonny Gray. Scott, now this trade happened in exactly 3 phases, and I'd like to do a little bit here, right? Because this is why people listen, right? For these kind of little games that we play, right?
Yeah.
I think you know the 3 phases, right? Of like how it got announced. I'd like you to announce each one of them, and then I'll react to each one of them.
Okay. So Sonny Gray is a Boston Red Sox. That's all we know.
Huh. Okay.
It turns out the return is Richard Fitz and Brandon Clark.
Wait, what the fuck?
There's $20 million coming from St. Louis, so it's actually only a 1-year, $21 million deal.
Oh, okay. And
I feel like
that's kind of
part of that phase 2 that I should have mentioned is there was like a brief moment where people were like, it's 1 year, $41 million.
Yeah. Well, the way that his contract was structured, because they had to restructure the contract in the trade. But the way it was structured, he was owed 31 for 2026 and then had a $10 million buyout if they didn't reach a mutual option, or it was a team option. If they declined the team option, there was a $10 million buyout to not bring him back in 2027. So it was essentially 1 year, $41 million, which I totally understand why people would be. I wasn't too stoked. You and I were texting about it in the moment. We're like, what the fuck is this? This can't be correct. Look at that. It wasn't.
Yeah, that was. Now we're down to this is what we paid Walker Buehler last year.
But I mean, I think that's a lot of pressure to put on a guy, you know?
Right. Well, their fastballs got hit just as hard, so that's good.
I don't want to start throwing around comps. You know, people say like Christian Campbell has a lot of Mookie in him.
Mm-hmm.
And Garrett Crochet, or remember they were like Tanner Houck is the right-handed Chris Sale.
For Sale, yeah.
And you don't want to put those comps on a guy and be like, oh my gosh, Sonny Gray could be the next Walker Buehler.
He could be the next 2024 Walker Buehler.
Then what? 25. 24.
Yeah.
24,
no, you're
he was
right.
deceased.
Yeah,
he came back from the dead to
win
play.
the World Series.
Man, yeah, I got the final out. Verdugo.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were all there.
$21 million out. Yeah.
There is no move more Red Soxian anymore than getting a guy who's 35 years old on a 2-year conditional deal after he is done.
It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, but a 1-year deal.
Oh, true. They do always throw in an option that doesn't actually ever come to fruition. So, yeah, you're right.
Unless they rehab for the first year and then they exercise the second year's option. That it's just exactly what the Red Sox do. Are you a guy who had a big name? So you got some name power to you, but like not that much anymore. Your time is coming to an end with the franchise that you've put your career into. We'll take you for a year, maybe 2. Get hurt. It'll be 2.
Hey, you give him a little too much credit there because you said 35-year-old and he is in fact 36, and I want you to know that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did I say 35? I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that's different.
A 36-year-old. Now, I remember when they got James Paxton, who, wouldn't you know it, fits into this conversation. I remember talking with Steven Peralt and being like, dude, there's no way that's it, right? And he's like, Joey, don't even talk like that. That's silly. That's not the only, pitching addition they're going to get. Don't be ridiculous. It was obviously the only, I think it was the only thing they did that whole offseason.
Steve's doubling down this year. I don't know if you saw the tweets.
Is he? No, I don't. No, I have him muted out of spite because he muted me.
He has us muted for certain, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he said, he's like, guys, don't even worry. This is not the number 2 guy. Like, why is everybody freaking out? This is not the number 2. We're good. Let me find it.
Yeah, and the thing is, if that was true, I would feel fine about this. A depth guy who's been there, a guy who knows how to win. Just copy and paste the same conversation we had about Walker Buehler and about James Paxton and about Corey Kluber and about Lucas Giolito and about
He said, Sonny Gray is obviously not the number 2 starter Breslow was talking about. Don't be dumb.
In this week's segment, Let's Talk About It, Chris Cotillo said...
Whoa. Whoa.
What?
I got stuff.
I know. I just thought it was a funny time to make the jump because he was like, this is obviously isn't the number 2 starting pitcher. And then every fucking reporter in the city is jumping out saying, it sounds like this is their number 2.
You know what?
It sounds like this is it.
I should have let you do your job.
It's all right. We can try it again. What did Scott say? Or Steve say? What did Steve say? Not you say.
He said, Sonny Gray is obviously not the number 2 starter Breslow was talking about. Don't be dumb.
In other news, Alex Spear this week said, with the addition of Gray, one major league source suggested the Red Sox are unlikely to pursue top free agent starting pitchers, given the expectation that they will need to spend heavily to add a bat. So that's what makes this story, kind of stink.
Yeah, but he's the only one that said it.
Chris Cotillo also said, it is November 25th and there's a ton of winter left. The market has barely moved. With that said, early indications from sources say the Red Sox are shifting their attention to an impact bat at this juncture while not ruling out further pitching additions as the offseason continues. Not ruling it out, but it's not a priority. They are shifted over to a bat, which they also need.
By me. Yeah.
They also need. But if Sonny Gray is, I don't know. The thing about this too is like, I don't want to get too down on these quotes because the primary pitching addition that we've been talking about is Joe Ryan and Tarek Skubal. And those are trades. Those are not free agents. So I don't want to get all too caught up in this because there was no free agent starter that we were looking at and talking about at all. Is there any?
Not really. I mean, like early, like Dylan Cease is a name that's been floated, but that's really it. Like that's honestly was more before the offseason even started, just when you knew who was coming up. It's been pretty steadily Joe Ryan and then some free agent, some trade names. Because I mean, once we got to the offseason, the second Bregman opted out, it's like I don't think many fans want them to spend 30 plus million on a pitcher.
Did we lose him? The second Bregman opted out. He's fine. He's back. The second Bregman opted out, what happened?
I think you realize that most Red Sox fans don't want to spend 30 plus million on a free agent starting pitcher because I mean, the idea has always been trade from your position player depth, get the number 2, and then go sign some bats. I think that's been the mentality for a while. So no, I mean, free agent starting pitching, that doesn't dampen my mood at all.
I will say, like, it definitely did catch my eye when I saw it. And I saw that, the Red Sox are shifting their focus away from starting pitching. What's up?
I'll say this, and this is something I wanted to talk about. It always comes back to these guys, where you didn't have to trade Jarren Duran or Willie Abreu to get the, impact starting pitcher. Now, whether he's a 2 or a 3 or whatever, let's not act like he's a 5. The guy that Breslin was talking about, it doesn't rule us out of, like, I don't think anything's changed for the Joe Ryan sweepstakes, because if you're gonna trade, like, if you think from a handiness perspective, it doesn't make sense to have as many left-handed outfielders as you have, and you're going to trade one away just for a lineup construction. Joe Ryan, he's estimated to cost about $6 million this year. So, like, this didn't change anything in my head for specifically that sweepstakes and a few other, the Hunter Greens, the Mackenzie Gores. Those are controllable long-term assets. Yeah, you did give up Brandon Clark, but a lot of the talk about him being the number 5 prospect, that was just because we haven't updated rankings in a while. He's closer to that, like, 10 to 15 range in reality in terms of actual value. So I don't know. I think that's important to note. Like, yes, the priority should be, if you're trying to make your moves go in order of importance, the impact bats are the next thing on the docket for sure. That's where the attention should be going. But the timeline doesn't really matter all that much, and this doesn't. If you had traded from that major league depth, or the position player major league depth to get Sonny Gray, would be like, all right, that's the move. But I don't think this, Richard Fitz wasn't the piece that we were holding on to get Joe Ryan. So I don't think this matters for that.
There is the thing. I mean, here's the thing. I agree with you. It's awesome to still hold your biggest 2 trade chips. Arguably 3. Your top 3 biggest trade chips. Trading them for a guy in Joe Ryan, trading who you did for Joe Ryan, which I think we only mentioned once at the beginning here, is Brandon Clark and Richard Fitz, for an unknown 1 year of Sonny Gray, is a little strange, especially when your pitching depth is kind of a question mark. It's odd. It's odd is what it is. There's a lot of dice rolls in your pitching depth. There's a lot of guys that you can look at and say, we don't really know what he is, or we don't know what he's going to be. Patrick Sandoval, you have no idea what he's going to be. Cutter Crawford is coming back. You're not totally sure how he comes back. You don't know what Peyton Tolley is going to be. You hope the best for Connolly early. It's a little bit more of a sure dice roll, but it's still a dice roll. There's just a ton of guys on that list that you go, ugh, I don't know. Maybe if you can get something out of him, is if Tanner Houck ever comes back to life, end of the season, that's a huge dice roll. Like, there's just a bunch of them. So adding guy in Sonny Gray, who, like we mentioned, is 49 years old. He's 36. He did just have his first full season with an ERA plus below 100 ever because like the only other times he's been below it were shortened seasons, in 2016 and in 2018. I guess 2018 wasn't a shortened season, so I guess since 2018.
You know what I will say?
I don't know. It's a weird addition.
The expectation for me has always been not so much about, who's better in 2026, but also the idea that you were building this thing is if you did get a, multi-year starting pitcher that slots into that number 2 spot, you feel like, okay, like this whole thing is moving in the right direction. With Sonny Gray, it's like, okay, he might be great this year, but you got to repatch it again next year. So that's frustrating, first of all. But I will say, Joe Ryan versus Sonny Gray for 2026 specifically, I think there's been so much helium with this Joe Ryan trade thing that you forget who he was. I think he had a 3.79 ERA. Like, he's not Garrett Crochet times 2. Sonny Gray didn't have as good of a season, but their FIPS actually would have favored, and their expected ERA would have favored Gray if they were on the same team. So, like, just in terms of pitchability, for 2025 at least, they were, about the same. The actual results were better for Ryan. The projections were better for Gray. They were both in the same neighborhood, I would argue. And for 2026, I think it could be the same thing. So I'm not even ruling out that Gray isn't, the better statistical performer for next year. It's just that, you would hope that it's like, okay, we got this young, controllable guy that we're gonna, maybe extend for a few more years, and then now that's a guy. Whether he ends up becoming a 3, down in a couple of years or whatever. This at least we know it starts with Crochet, Ryan, and then we go. Mm-hmm. With Gray, it's like we'll roll the dice again next year. Who's a free agent? Now we got to immediately go, who's a free agent next season. So not a terrible thing, but yeah, it's a point.
Where like a guy like Richard Fitz did kind of fit that role of a 4-5 of like, he could have been a stable, sturdy back of the end rotation, back end of the rotation guy that you did have confidence. Like, okay, well, like the back end is bolstered by Richard Fitz. Also looking at the numbers, just because you mentioned Joe Ryan, and we do just kind of talk about him like he is this prized cow, prized pig. What's the phrase? Prized.
I don't deal with farm. I'm not super big in the farm market.
I'll call my farm guy.
Cash cow?
Prize calf? Prize pig? Prize bull? What is the phrase?
Crochet's a pig.
Let me call my farm guy real quick.
Okay.
Prized. Come on,
dude.
This is Robbie. Just leave a name.
You can't even get a hold of your farm guy right now.
I can't get a hold of my farm guy. Well, we talk about Joe Ryan
Wednesday, and he's not around.
They're busy. They're farming right now. The sun, dude. Daylight savings time. There's only so much left. There's only like 20 minutes of sun left. He's probably pissed I called.
Yeah.
What are you gonna milk a cow by lantern? No. Sunlight only.
Right.
Anyway, we talk about Joe Ryan like he's some prized pig, and he has a career ERA of 3.79.
Yeah. Okay.
Last year, 3.42. So he brought that career average down. An ERA plus of his career at 1.11.
He's good. He's a good pitcher for sure.
He's good. Yeah, he's a strikeout pitcher, a career strikeout per 9 of 10.1. That's like what you expect from a top of the rotation guy. Gets knocked around. There's no doubt about that. So, I mean, in talking about Joe Ryan, I think that's an important thing to remember. Whereas, like, one thing that obviously jumped out to me about Sonny Gray, led the league last year in strikeout to walk ratio, 5.29 strikeouts per walk. I'm sure the Red Sox like that. I'm sure there's more that they like as well. Somebody threw out the stat about how much he uses a sweeper, and the Red Sox like that, and what have you.
It's good. 40% whiff. Yeah, I'm confused about who Sonny Gray is. which is weird. You don't usually do that with a guy that's 36 and has such a long career. But so just to break it down real quick, 4.28 ERA, 96 ERA plus. He had 201 Ks, which you always love to see. 26.7% strikeout rate in 180 and 2/3 innings. But he had a 262 batting average against and a 726 OPS, which for reference fits in his career is 251 batting average against with 725 OPS against. So 1 point worse for the OPS and about an 11 for batting average against. So it's weird. His fastball is a 370 batting average against. You obviously can reduce the amount of usage there, but then does that make other pitches less effective? Here's what's really confusing to me, though. He had a 4.28 ERA, as I said. He has a 3.39 FIP. So you immediately go, okay, good. If he has a good defense around him, then he can take another step and he can maybe be that for real number 2.
Maybe he had some bad luck last year.
Yeah.
Jumped to all those conclusions, yeah.
Here's my thing about that. I did a little digging into that. Obviously, a huge part of FIP is going to be that league-leading 5.29 K through K to walk ratio. That goes a long way. I get that. But his defense usually is what you point to. Wynn has a 21.
Rob.
Yes.
What is that phrase that's like someone's like a prized pig or a prized cow? Like you look at somebody like they're prized.
I don't know. I don't know that I know that expression.
All right, I'll call my other farm guy.
Okay.
All right.
Farm guy
All right,
sucks, Jay.
peace.
That was the worst farm
Go
guy
on.
I've ever heard. Normally you look at the defense when the FIP is altered like that. You have Mason Wynn at shortstop for the Cardinals. He has 21 outs above average. That is 100th percentile at shortstop. You also have Brendan Donovan at second base, who had a -1 outs above average. He did win a Gold Glove in the past. So that's a guy that he's league average. The stats favored him being average, but he also can make some plays, obviously, with the Gold Glove in his belt. And then Nolan Arenado still had 3 outs above average at third base. So he actually had way better defense than he's going to. Yes, Meyer, wherever he ends up, will be better than whether it's second or third, will be better than Arenado or Donovan. But Trevor Story versus Mason Wynn having 21 outs above average last year, that alone is more impactful than anything we put around the shortstop position. So it's a little weird that his FIP is that. His expected ERA, which is Baseball Savant, is a 3.91. That makes more sense to me. I know he did get dinked and dunked a little bit, so maybe it was just kind of a lot of that going on. But I do think it's very weird to just be like, oh, well, he had bad luck, or they usually say bad defense, and then you just move him to Boston, and it's like, now we'll have a 3 ERA. It's like, I don't see that happening. So that's confusing.
This is more of a case for the pitching lab to utilize his pitch mix differently than anything else. This is not going to be that Boston's defense comes to his aid when that's been, what's behind him.
That'll be a big part of it, and then there might be a lot of just he got really unlucky last year with a couple of bloops that shouldn't have happened, where it's just it wasn't about the defense, it's just a lot of balls in weird spots. The other part that a lot of people if this is part of a promo, we put up a graph here where we'd show Red Sox stats with the graph of all where his damage was done, and it was all the deepest part of Fenway. I'm sure you saw that, Joey. And I don't fully understand this stat, but I was trying to do a little more digging onto that. So he logged 25 home runs last season. His expected home runs at Fenway Park, based on that chart, what do you think that it would drop down to, Joey?
From 25?
Yeah.
Let's say 19.
They all go to the triangle, right? Yeah. According to Baseball Savant, 24. So not as excited about that graph. Maybe that's not a fair thing to say, but it's a good thing if you want his damage to be in dead center to right center. But that, I don't know, Baseball Savant said, but don't matter. They hit him so far over there, it still would have been out. So that's a little weird. Oh, also, you do have to factor in that's Rafaela Willier territory, so a lot of those balls don't fall. So I guess there's that as well. But I was I was expecting to see a little bit more of a drop off in that expected home run at Fenway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm very confused.
I'm confused by it too. And I'll tell you, one of the aspects of this trade that makes me the most nervous is who's on the other end of it.
Richard Fitz and Brendan Clark.
Chaim Bloom.
Mm,
That makes me big nervous.
interesting.
That his first offseason at the helm, he's making trades with Boston in November. That makes me big nervous.
You know, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, and I calmed down a little bit, but you worry about all the control, everything you gave up. Brendan Clark is a really solid prospect, good prospect.
Yeah.
Would it be preposterous if they both made 30 starts? I guess I'll ask you this. What are the odds that if Fitz and Gray made 30 starts each, that Fitz just had better stats at the end of the year?
Are you saying, like, what are the odds that how crazy would it be if Fitz had better stats over a 30 start span? Or
Yeah.
are you saying, do you think it's possible that they could both start 30 games for the Cardinals?
No.
in 26?
No. What are the odds? Let's say they
Okay.
both play a full season. What are the odds that Fitz is just the better pitcher in that span for 2026?
I don't think that's crazy.
I think that's like 30% chance. And you give up a huge prospect to do it. And the team control and all that.
You're saying Fitz versus Gray?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Fitz versus Clark.
No, Clark, that doesn't matter. We can't do that. Well, no, all right. Well, if you want something to think about here. I know he had a bad year last year, but he's only made, I think, 11 starts. He's pitched 65 and 2/3 innings. So take that with a grain of salt. But he's got a career 3.97 ERA, 105 ERA plus since he's debuted. He does have a 5.02 FIP, so like that's and he only has a 17.5% K rate. But the biggest thing for me is he has a 251 batting average against. Gray has a 262. Their OPS against is 1 point off in favor of Fitz actually, and so it's like I don't know. Like I'm not saying it's likely. I'm not saying that this was like a ridiculous trade, but if there is a reality where Fitz outplays Gray next season, and then it's like, man, we gave up a really good prospect. Fitz was the better player straight up, and now Gray is leaving and 1,000. He's leaving for a retirement home, not just retirement. And then we don't have Clark. Fitz is going to stay in St. Louis for years. And yeah.
And in the price tag, even with that $20 million, the price tag on Gray,
you didn't,
looks
and you
astronomical next to Richard Fitz. Yeah,
and you didn't make the long-term move. You didn't make that. You chose Gray, not necessarily instead of, like I said, Joe Ryan. All that stuff is still on the table. But if they do end up making that the big move, and then they don't make another starting pitching addition, it's like you didn't move the franchise forward. You lost a lot of years in control on two good players. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do think there is a 25-30% chance where Fitz just is good. We saw what it looks like when he's good, and he's really good when he's on, and he came into last year throwing a lot harder. He didn't stay healthy long enough to really prove, like, most of his outings were like half rehab outings. Like one of his worst games was when he came up too early on purpose to try and help the team and got smoked before he was like at his pitch count limit. So that's like, the 5.02 FIP, you can kind of, I don't know, that doesn't scare me a ton. And when you watch him, he's like I was watching Cardinals fans get excited about Fitz after I was already had this question ready to go for the pod. And they were just showing his like strikeouts and just decimating guys. And I was like, man, he does throw 98. He's got some filthy stuff. A lot of people in St. Louis were reminded of Lance Lynn in his prime. And I was like, man, I liked Fitz. I always did. He was my, to be fair, also, I am biased in the sense of last year I went into the year, he was like my, surprise, not MVP, but whatever we call that, surprise, great
surprise
player.
Pick. Got it. Yeah. Now knowing that that's the question, 30% does feel pretty accurate. I don't want to doomsay and be like, it's a huge possibility. 30% definitely feels like around the realm. And I think part of that is also seeing what Quinn Priester did last year. That, your brain does kind of jump there and go oh, could this happen again? And could we look like fools? Yeah, like it's on the table. It's
Certainly.
absolutely on the table. And also with like the years of control, like you're also going to look 3 years from now and see what Richard Fitz is doing, and Sonny Gray and his 2026 Cy Young will be a long forgotten memory by then. Yeah,
And
it's
Brandon
all
Clark will
there,
be
and
coming
it
up.
it's just weird. It's just a weird time to push in because like I get this move if you have every other piece that you have and you're ready to go and you're like, you know what, we just need a veteran guy. We need to bolster this rotation and like kind of pass on the future a little bit. And it does feel like a weird time to push the chips in, which is what this move is. It's pushing in for 1 year and saying, I think we can squeeze the last bit of juice out of Sonny Gray for this push this year.
Yeah, it's also like people are gonna object to that because like it wasn't a move for a superstar. Like when usually when you push in, you go for it. But in the sense of you are giving up future assets for current wins. Like this is a 1-year deal. Don't look at it any other way. If it's a 2-year deal, like you said, something really bad happened, but it's a mutual option. So the scenario where both sides say you're exactly worth 30 million, never gonna happen. Mutual options
At
never get picked
38
up.
years old, yeah.
Yeah, 41 I think he'll be next year.
82.
And yeah, I just it is a weird thing to give up future assets for a 1 year of Sonny Gray. I will say it probably does bode well for. It would make no sense for them to make a move like this and then not go all in for a bat or two. Like if you just bring back Bregman and then you replace Giolito with Gray, like, and then you just lost long-term assets, that doesn't make a ton of sense. So you would think that there's more coming down the pipeline, which
you gotta hope.
Next part of Let's Talk About It kind of gets into that part.
Yeah, which does lead right to something Craig Breslow said after this move. He said, quote, if there are opportunities to leverage areas of depth, maybe outfield, maybe some of the starting pitching, to address other areas of need on the roster, then we'll have to consider doing that. Wow. I just feel like that's something I should have said on the show. That it just felt like inevitable that they're going to pull from their areas of depth to go after their areas of need, and that it's probably going to be from their outfield in pursuit of starting pitching. I
thought this was interesting. Here's what I thought was interesting about this quote. Obviously, the outfield thing isn't shocking. It is notable in the sense that we're still talking about this because I do think after acquiring Gray, you got the pitcher, so it's like, now are you trading Duran just to trade him? Like, is it the lineup thing, whatever? I do think the odds of that happening goes down, but he put it back on the table right away. The other thing that I thought was interesting was that he talked about starting pitching after this trade as another area of strength, which at first I was kind of like, I didn't really agree right away because I think if you need 10 starting pitchers to get through a season, it's a 162 game season. Those guys get hurt a lot. I don't know if you know this. I did some math. There are 15 starting pitchers on the 40-man roster. And I was sitting there going, you know what? Actually, maybe, I guess, I don't love trading from pitching depth in any scenario really going into a season. But you have just a quick rundown. Crochet, Gray, Bayo, Crawford, Early, Tolley, Harrison, Criswell, Dobbins, Sandoval, Houck, Sandlin, Drohan, Uberstein, and Perales. I thought I said Sandlin twice. I don't know why. Now, of that, you have Crawford's health is kind of up in the air. Dobbins has a torn ACL. Sandoval's on the mend. Tanner Houck's expected to be out. But without those four, you'd still have 11 guys. And I think Cutter Crawford, you can really make it 12 because I didn't put an asterisk next to him because I think he'll be ready by the season. Like, it doesn't sound like he's, got something serious going on.
Yeah, he's supposed to be good to go. You
actually, I guess, when you look at this roster, could trade one or two more guys, but I just hope he doesn't do the Quinn Priester move again. Like, let's trade, Drohan. Let's not make the move with Tolley and be like, oh, we're good, or Connolly early. It's like, we don't need to trade number 6 in the rotation. Like, Quinn Priester was in line. He was in the fight to make the starting rotation on opening day.
Yeah.
And that was the guy that was moved. Let's not trade from that level of depth. Let's do it with, you need 10 guys, so let's start talking 11 through 15. That's what I would say. But I do think it's notable that he still considers starting pitching to be at a point where you can move a guy or two to get another area of need. I don't know that I agree with that,
I mean,
but it's
I
interesting
guess-
to know what he's thinking, because that's almost more important than what the right thing to do is. He's the GM, so now you're trying to predict things. It's interesting that he thinks he can trade a guy and make another Quinn Priester trade.
I think that, to me, sounds like announcing to the world, hey, we're listening. If some crazy offer comes along, that doesn't sound like, hey, Brian Bayo is going to be, included in the next package that we send out
For sure.
west. I would imagine it's guys like Peyton Tolley.
Yeah, but it's even that. It's interesting to note that if a team did call, or if they were to make a trade proposal for a Joe Ryan, they would be saying, okay, I got 2 areas I want to deal from. You pick from my outfielders and my starting pitchers. I think we did know about the outfielders. That's been obvious for a long time. It's interesting that he's
and they
willing
just traded
to throw
all their
in pitching.
relievers.
Yeah.
And they don't have the infield to do that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess like your number 2 has to be your rotation.
Yeah. I agree. I just think that just because it would rank number 2 doesn't mean you're willing to trade away from it. So, I thought that was kind of interesting that they're looking at the pitching market and saying we could actually give away. We might take one of these guys if we can find a second baseman need or something like that. Where it's like, I don't know that was obvious before. Because anytime we talked about Tolley or Early in the past, it was to, get a pitcher. So you'd end up with the same amount. You just upgrade. You not even necessarily upgrade, but you get a more sure thing. You trade Tolley for Joe Ryan. That's like, okay, it's not saying we have depth to give. That's just saying that's just a numbers game.
Yeah. I think that's posturing a little bit to be like, yeah, we have tons of depth there. Oh my God, we have tons of depth. So I don't know. It's strange. I will say this story, although as big as it is without a doubt the only piece of news that's come out this week. Of notable news anyway. It's strange, and I think that this is a big time will tell kind of trade. There is no clear win or lose situation. I think my final verdict on the trade is strange decision. Let's see if it pays off.
Okay.
Interesting decision. Let's see if it pays off. I'm pretty split on it working out.
I think the one thing I really struggle with in these situations where we're talking on November 26th, I really quickly jump to logical predictions for what they're going to do next. And I'm like, it's tough for me. I just have to see what else they do before I can tell you how I confidently feel about this. Because, for example, my reaction is, okay, this is going to be the number 2. We're ruling out Joe Ryan. We're ruling out Mackenzie Gore. We're ruling out Hunter Green. But that's not true. Like in my, it's like, okay, does this mean Duran's going to stay? Does this mean that, I need to see, it's kind of hard to grade. Obviously, you can grade a trade.
Hold on 1 second. Someone's knocking on my door. I'm so sorry. Yeah, sorry. I got yoinked.
Yo, what?
I got stabbed. I got yoinked real quick.
Oh, can you finish?
I'm back.
Pod?
No, I'm gonna keep podding.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I'm good. They missed everything, dude. Got me on the left side. Amateur.
Just a light.
Yeah.
All right.
Appendix on the left, liver on the right. People always think liver left. Wrong. So sorry to interrupt in the middle of your take. You were saying Mackenzie Gore. You're saying your mind kind of jumps to like those guys are no longer on the table.
Oh yeah. I mean, I just say that I kind of, obviously you can evaluate an individual trade with prospects in versus out, players in, out, whatever. But to me, I like to evaluate off seasons and did this, like instead of last season evaluating the Crochet deal, it's like, well, you got Crochet, Bregman, Chapman for this amount of money for these pieces, and like that was a successful off season. So it's like it's hard for me.
Yep.
Like if the Gray thing, it doesn't make sense to give up the future gains if you re-sign Alex Bregman and that's it, because then why not just bring back Giolito? If they get Pete Alonso and Bregman, it's like, okay, they went heavy on the bats. They are pushing the chips in. And so it's more acceptable to trade future assets for current wins. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to grade right now. I think he could be a good pitcher for the Red Sox, and their rotation got better. That's, you can leave it at that if you want to just leave it simple.
Or Chaim has unleashed a reign of terror on Boston that we can only imagine will continue for years to come.
Okay, so there's two ways to look at it.
There's two ways to look at it.
Yeah.
Chaim legitimately does care. The fact that it's Boston immediately in November, that he's like, he gets the keys and he's like, hey, Boston, you don't need Brandon Clark and Richard Fitz, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that does make me nervous. Because like, all right, Chaim, what are you seeing? What are you cooking up over there? So I don't know. The Chaim revenge tour is inevitable. If it has started, I am worried about it. We shall see. We shall see. You know what, dude? It's Thanksgiving.
Sure.
And that means something to me, man.
I think you're doing an ad read right now.
No, I'm just saying it means no, what I'm saying is I'm going to abstain from cutting you off with the Empty Brain of Thought song this week.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
not going to do it because Huh?
I want you to know that if you do it now, that you will never have a friend in me ever again. Like that's a betrayal. If you're gonna use the holiday season to do that.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, what I'm saying is I'm thankful for you and for the show and for our listeners. And because of that, I'm abstaining from a joke that honestly feels kind of mean every time. And I don't like doing it. It's just become a running bit. So I'm abstaining. That's what I'm giving up for Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, so you're done with it.
No, I'm giving it up for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then I'm back after.
But you still have to play it though.
Nah, there's still news to get to now.
Go ahead.
You know what's funny is Tyler Uberstein's. I would not have put him on this list at all. I understand that he has to be here, but
that's not news.
Place. He's on that list. I didn't say it was news.
You said there's more news to get to.
I don't think I said that. I'll stop it there. I got some thoughts I want to get out of my head.
Go ahead.
It's about Friendsgiving. How do we honor who's bringing what to Friendsgiving?
Group chat? What do you mean? What do you mean honor?
Yeah, but like you claim it fucking first, right?
Of course.
And usually it's like a group chat setting, so like if things have been claimed or whatnot, right?
Correct.
My group is using a fucking Google spreadsheet. Like a bunch of dorks.
You are so old.
I know. And I was like, hey guys, when are we sending the link? And they were like, it's the same link from years ago.
Oh, God.
And I was like, why would I still have that? You know? So I found it and I opened it up and like fucking everything's claimed. was like, you guys, we got. So now I'm in a place where I'm like, what else even is there? Should I bring creamed corn? Should I bring ice cream sandwiches?
Did you get the list in front of you?
Of like what they took?
Yeah. Are you still trying to figure this out?
Took from me? Yeah.
Okay. Let's hear the list. We'll come up with something.
Where is this list? Sorry, I have to pull up my Google spreadsheets.
I got an idea,
Absolutely
but I want to save it till I know.
In case it's not on here?
Yeah.
What are the odds that it's on here?
How many people are going?
20 something?
Screwed.
Yeah, you're kind of fucked here. That's the thing. There's the rub. You know, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. Okay. So here's what's being brought. Flatbreads, turkey, crack stuffing, chocolate pecan pie. My friend Joe just put conversation that should not be had around children. We got egg-free brownies. Hot apple cider, mac and cheese, turkey / canned cranberry sauce / chocolate cream pie. You can't bring it all, Emily. Green bean casserole, corn, 2 room temperature beers, some extra Tupperware, pumpkin sugar cookies, and the last one just says an exciting multi-level marketing opportunity I'd really like to talk to you guys about.
I like that.
Yeah, it is good.
That's a good
I was looking
Excel
to bring
sheet.
the green bean casserole.
Yeah, that's a good Excel. I will say there was enough jokes in there that I didn't expect from your nerd Excel sheet friends.
Yeah. The jokes just keep going if you keep going through this this spreadsheet here. It's good.
As they usually are hidden in there, as it was designed.
Yeah.
Well,
As the founding fathers intended.
The only Friendsgiving I've ever been to, because I think that's the dumbest thing of all time. Yeah, I went. So Steve Motz made apple pies, and he really tried. He made multiple, and he worked really hard. And I, 5 minutes before we left, went to a bakery and got a bunch of like chocolate cupcakes, and and no one touched his apple pie that he spent hours making.
Oh.
And people kept coming up to me being like, dude, these are really good. And he was next to me the whole time. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And nobody would try his. And he was trying to get people to try. And they wouldn't. And then they would grab mine. And I'd be like, sorry, man. Shouldn't have worked. Should have worked smarter, not harder, dude. I get that you cared about this
tough.
and I didn't care about this. But I bested you still.
Yeah, still at a certain point, take the L.
So, want to make an apple pie? Was that on there?
You know what wasn't on there is mashed potatoes, dude. I might just make some shitty ass mashed potatoes.
Okay, I like that you're trying to make them bad.
But I mean, how hard is it to make good mashed potatoes? Like you add a little extra butter, you add a little extra milk, you throw in some garlic, and maybe you go hard and you make some bacon on the side, you crumble it up, and you throw it in there.
I'll go with mine now. My thought. Lucas Giolito is going to the Houston Astros. You can't do that. Can't do that. That's not a win.
With Joey and Scott. Did you say the Houston Astros?
He didn't sign there, but his high school coach did. He's now the pitching coach there. So him and Jack Flaherty are going to try and make their way down. Astros make sense, and now his high school coach is there, which is kind of nuts.
Wow. That's exciting. What do you think the rest of his life's going to be like?
Cool.
Probably cool.
He'll be
He'll
tall.
have a good time. Yeah, he'll always have that.
His
girlfriend has a TikTok. You should follow her.
Oh, yeah. We have a TikTok you should follow.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But follow Lucas first.
Well, Lucas or his girlfriend?
Follow his girlfriend. Her name's, we'll put
ITM
it in the description of the episode. Yeah. Her name, it's ITM_pod. All right. Well, my computer's on low battery and I'm not charging, so I think I gotta get the heck out of here.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to come clean about? Anything you're really thankful for this year?
Nothing. Any of those.
Me neither. No. Every night, me and my son do like a "What are you grateful for today?" And
Really?
he does not get what the word grateful means at all. I try to tell him it means thankful, and he'll be like, "I'm grateful." You know, I don't know. He'll be like, "Blippy was good today." And it's like, well, that's not,
Well,
close enough.
that's pretty good.
I'm thankful. Here. How about this?
Wow.
How about this? Yeah.
Gotta-
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Gotta head to the YouTube to see this madness.
Yeah. This is worth it, everybody.
If you don't go for this, you're really missing out.
Thanks for coming, everyone. And we'll see you
Wow.
next week. Follow us on the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46. Just like how many turkeys I'm going to eat, gobble, gobble, gobble all this weekend. And we will see you after this thrilling Thanksgiving weekend. For Scott Neville and Joey Copponi, go Sox, kid.